All right, so I am using Screencastify right from the website to um, make a little presentation about some approaches to teaching A Midsummer Night's Dream. So I created some slides on a whiteboard. What I did is I wrote on a whiteboard and then I took pictures each time I wrote. So and then I put them into a Google slideshow. So one thing I want to emphasize is before we talk about, let me go back. Before we talk about comedy, I think it's useful to talk about tragedy and to emphasize the fact that in tragedy, the tragic hero experiences a downfall. So if this is status and this is high status, the tragic hero or heroine experiences a downfall. And Aristotle is the person who wrote about tragedy in ways that are still regarded as being very accurate analysis. And Aristotle said that the downfall is generally a result of hubris or excessive pride. Often in literature, we find that characters are arrogant and that the arrogance creates tragedy. And then Aristotle also said that even though tragedy is sad and ending in death, but not necessarily death, that it creates a catharsis for the audience, and that means it's an emotional cleansing, especially of pity and fear. And then if we look at comedy, I brought in comedy, and comedy, especially Shakespearean comedy, it starts in a pretty happy, not elated, but pretty happy place, and it can kind of spiral into chaos. This is not a drawing that people usually use, so I might be a little exaggerated in how far down comedy goes towards tragedy. It is relieved by comic relief. So we are reminded, even in moments of dramatic tension, that this is a comedy, and we get a sense that it will work out, and of course it does. And an important thing about comedy is that we have a happy ending, which is the most important element, the most basic element of comedy. And generally, comedy ends with marriage or children. Like, even when you think about movies, you think about those final scenes where people are either dancing at a wedding or welcoming children into a family through birth or some other means. So there's this idea of the human race moving forward, and it's very happy. There's mating between male and female. I'm going to stop right now with that portion.